Okay, well, thanks for tuning into the Forex Anger Show. I got some kind of drama going on here. They're testing Jade Helm here tonight. So, explosions and God knows what, you know. But I just want to do the Yakanashis on the smooth Hakanashis, how you pronounce. I want to do this on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, you know. I think this thing's just had it. Absolutely had it. My data doesn't go back very far, but I do have the monthlies. And I'm going to use this really crude technique where I just go trend line on close. I just watched a couple guys doing the trend line things, so. But I've already lost my anger for watching. You know, there's something funny about being a trader. I guess it's like if you really take it seriously, you have the kind of bad effect of, you know, you're going to talk to other people that are in your profession or in something that you consider. This doesn't typically happen. Like if you're a guitarist or you're a musician, when you find other musicians, you just play music, right? You don't usually sit down and say, well, what do you think about the Dorian mode? And you say the problem with traders is, maybe it's not a problem, but I don't know, just the traders I spoke with, I guess it's almost like talking about girls or something. Like, you know, oh, I love brunettes. Sorry, I don't care what you say. And, you know, that's the thing. So if you approach the market as if I'm a trend trader, what kind of trader are you? Are you a scalper? Are you the range guy? Are you the guy that, like if you just trade wave 3 of Elliott wave all day long, so you're just going to risk $2 to make $6 or $2 to make $9, you know, the leverage launching point of a rollover is probably, you know, the resolution of a triangle or a flag is probably the most money risk to reward ratios because you're running tight stops on the exit of that triangle, right? So Dow Jones, though, is really, you know, I mean, this is kind of like so cliche because everybody that trades is looking at the markets. Everybody's looking at the same thing. And it's why are all bubbles so painfully obvious? And, you know, you can even see the headlines, like all the clamoring for this and that. I mean, I've never seen the worst numbers in my life. And we're just going to finally roll over because I think finally the underground economy is going to, it's always the cushion typically because people just go where they have to go, you know. I mean, if they got to go over here to the whatever the bricks or whatever this you know, Shangri-La, whatever they're going, right? And everybody has to run for cover. And but this is just the now inside here. You know, I guess if somebody wants, you know, email me and I'll send you the this thing here, right? But it's a big drama to post because and it's got, you know, supposedly. I mean, I'd say that these will compile. This will compile, but it won't. You know, you'll have warnings, but it'll still run. So the warnings are because everybody that's on MT4 is using MT5 language, whether they like it or not. So even when you change one of these scripts to the time zones outside MT4, you'll end up with, you know, it won't turn blue. In other words, as you're writing the code, it's not going to turn blue because it's not like they're like, hey, can't use that, but you can. But just this trend line here, I mean, this is taking forever for this pattern to unfold, right? It's taking forever. So for the impatient person, this is just sheer torture. But if you just take this MetaTrader trend line, it's got a 50% mark already on it, right? So you don't have to, you know, they're getting carried away with these things, man. People just get so carried away. I mean, God, the clouds. I mean, I guess I'm getting carried away with the smooth candles, but I like the 3D effect. I like the, in other words, I can build a system around this indicator. So you have the 50 mark here, and then now I could find a wavelength, and I know half a wavelength. Typically in nature, you know, even a split wave, you can't get I can't get a sine wave. In other words, I got to cross over some point. So I can build that, and I can copy that. So I can double that wave, and I can get like a kind of a time. I have to do another spot so I can see whether it's timing out. Okay, so we're getting there. We're the third wave of time, right? Right, we're just about there, and we had the this major top here, when they did the stop hunt, they came all the way back here. So if you had buy limit pendings at this pivot, you would not have got filled. I mean, this would be the ultimate fill. Like if you could have picked up the Dow Jones at 15, right? 1570. Now at 1800. Now it could keep going up. I mean, I just had it. I mean, I talked about this about 2 months ago, and that's how impatient I am. Like, come on, we can. It's a top, right? Come on, it's a top, isn't it? Is this a top or not, right? And it's topping out. It's got to be, for God's sakes, right? The last known top that became a bottom, if this doesn't hold here, you see this shallow top became the bottom? And the shallow one, okay, this was the last ultimate entry. This would be the last ultimate entry is right here. And that's a scalper's entry because we never made it to, we never took out, of course, I guess this is it. I mean, the air is getting so thin, right? I just zoom out one level. Unfortunately, I don't have all the data. This is how the candles are supposed to look. I run them like this. So this is, but we're coming up to the end of the this wave right now. If I keep these pivots on close, and of course here was the, this is kind of cruel because when they took it back to here, I'm sure everybody bought, and then they're like, whoa, you know, I mean, you had to be able to, of course, if you go, this is a monthly, right? Now go to the weekly, and then let me just do this. Let me do this on close because I just get. In other words, I do it on close because that's where my orders. That's the pivot. That's where I put the orders. And this one here, this one was a fill. See this black guy here. This is the real price. So what I did was underneath here is this is true range instead of an ATR. That's the monthly real true range bars, right? Then here you wouldn't have got filled, but I'm sure people couldn't wait to buy this baby top inside, right? And then this is like some guy in this video said, yeah, well, those stupid patterns like triangles. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, you're not into geometry. Let's just face it, right? Can't see that. But I mean, you can't. How do you break the rules on this, right? Whereas if you're drawing your trend lines on these wicks, oh, okay, yeah, but you're not taking into account the beat of the market. The market has a price pulse. It has a rhythm. I mean, you know, like, you know, come on, it's got a rhythm to it, right? Okay, let me expand this so the node is in the middle of that. Okay, now, all right, you know, by the end of the year, right? I mean, come on. And then the end of the year's coming, and notice how the end of the year was the pullback here. Well, that's interesting. Look how this rollover happened at the end of the year. That's very, you know, that's Alex Jones material there. Well, isn't that a curious one? Yeah, it's like the church lady. Yeah, Satan. Look at this. Top becomes a bottom at the end of the year, on close, and then there's the stop hunt. Ooch. Well, if you'd had your stop back here, you were good to go. But this is kind of scary. This is probably the first time people said, I don't know. Now, here's the next trend line. And to me, this is the only way to draw a trend line because, watch, I'll get the time rollover now. Right there. When this double bottom became a top, that's where you're getting in. You're not waiting. You know, if I see one more guy draw a trend line on the wicks, okay, that's great. Try to draw them on the bodies when you got candles up. You can't do it right because you can't get in other words, do I do it on the edge of the candle, the wick of the body, where the body hits the wick? Like, I mean, to me, just because I'm like precise, you know, I do stuff like engineer stuff, right? So it's got to be like, where's the 90 degrees? Hello, don't you have a T? Oh, well, we just guess. I mean, I'm eyeballing it, you know. I mean, no, I want to see, like, what is this thing doing? Actually, I don't want to cheat, but that's the third hit there, right? And then I guess it went through. It's kind of unbelievable here, but they really trapped the breakout guys here, and they've got them now. They've grabbed these bulls now, and they're just going to go to sleep on them. I mean, it could go so. All right, it could break out one more time, right? Because I'm projecting up into. Well, if you go off the highs, I can't seem to stretch this damn chart. I gotta unfix it. And here's the thing, MetaTrader, you gotta unfix that puppy and then let it grab the whole data stream and then come back, and maybe if I fix it now. That is one thing. MetaTrader is not very happy if you start to mess with this stuff. Okay, so and this is the $100 handles or something up here. Let me just start over real quick here. Okay, now you should be able to redraw this stuff. I watched a guy who actually knew what he's talking about. He's like, yeah, if you can't see it like in 2 seconds, just go get another chart, right? But here's your projection off of here, and here would be your top projection, right? This is the people that think it's going to the moon, and my chart doesn't go up there, but if you can imagine, way up there. But here's I think we're in a consolidation. We're at least in some kind of triangle. We can't deny the fact that at the end of this month, if we close here, we have created that triple top. And people say these patterns don't work, and they got the failure rate. I'm like, are you retarded? Like, you got the failure rate of a pattern? I mean, you don't know how to. It's how you get in and out of these things, right? If you overloaded the wagon on this thing, on any trade, you're going to wipe out your account, or you're going to take yourself down. Say you're at 400% on the day, you're going to be down 500%. You're going to have enough money in that account. Like if you trade like a samurai, which I do. So if you can trade like that, you got to realize you can't. Everything you've ever heard about a pattern, it's all garbage. I mean, I'm saying there are heads and shoulders. There are people just you have to see if you are in one, right? So yeah, there's one right there. Now, can they blow at the top and keep going? Yeah, then they call it a continuation pattern. But it's like when you bail on the fact that you're wrong. Like, okay, it's not the top, and the world's not coming to an end. You got to believe that. You're going to have pending buy limits on this thing. I'm not trading the Dow Jones, but imagine right here. Like, look at that perfect fill. Not only did it touch here, it came back, retest, got a little bit deeper, stopped these guys out. They had the January lows, clipped then they went up here and they clipped out the guy that had the, well, I'm selling, but I'm putting a stop up there, right? Like, he saw this sell-off. He goes, I know I'm right. And then, bam, they just next month took him out. Now, we're getting all choppy. So, getting all choppy and toppy. We haven't really built. The only projection I can make off of this with the first leg down. Of course, I'm saying this is like creeper gear. I can't watch this monthly stuff. But obviously, it would be to come down here, right? Into this area. I don't know what that's. 1735. Don't hold me to it. But I'm just saying, like, I mean, but yeah, this is my. Should we go to the weekly here before the end of this video? But see, look at the mess in here. But now I've left all the entries, right? So you can see how you had all week to place orders down here. Not only this was a price back from there, but it's also, and this is why it's just so what you would just want to have this one period moving average so you can see what the hell's going on. Now look at how these pivots here, and then there's no pivots till down here. There's a triple top, became the bottom, then they punch through, and this is the big blow your brains out stop hunt. But if you can't see this double bottom with the top, right, you have to have orders down there, because just like right now, as we're crawling up the wall of worry, I think they call the stock market, because yeah, everybody's worried how they're going to overregulate things, and we've already broken the trend line on the weekly. So this would be the first time we could say, you know what, this puppy's going to roll over here. I won't go to the daily, because then we're going to get into waves that are just scalp waves. But look at this. Look what's going on here. So as we're marching up, this is the third hit. That's the break. Come back. Fails on the weeklies. See ya. Yes, the stock market is in a heap of trouble, but this is just the Akinashi indicator, and here's the other juicy entry on the weeklies. This is the setup for me. You got a buy limit sitting here. They come back. You could sell it here. Not like you couldn't sell that. That's an obvious sell. I mean, look at this. 3 hits, failure. Then you could just even get on the trend line break, right? But the nice thing about this trend line is 3 hits, you're getting in early. This one, you can't even draw a trend line off that. It's going to be a low. Like, look at this trend line off of here. Makes no sense. See, that makes no sense. So that's how you draw a trend line. For those people that show you how to draw a trend line, they're just so wrong. They couldn't be wronger, okay? So I'm just saying.